Now, in this lesson, we're going to talk about developing your listening skills. Because in my opinion, developing your listening skill is the most important skill to have to learn the Spanish language, okay? Or any language for that matter. Because listening is the gateway to communication. If you don't understand what's being said to you, what the words are, what's going on around you, if you don't even understand what's being said to you, then how can you even respond even in the most basic sense? Think about it. How can you respond if you don't know what's being said? You know? So that's why it's very important to develop your listening skills. Whether you're responding or not, you need to know what's going on around you. You need to know what's being said. And it all starts with your listening skills, okay? Because even if you can just understand good enough, at least you can cobble up an answer. It may not be the smoothest, greatest, most elegant Spanish response, okay? But at least you can respond with something on a basic level. But if you don't know what's being said to you, you're dead in the water, okay? So let's talk about it. So how do you develop your listening skills? How do you make these two things on the side of your head work for you instead of against you? Okay? Well, first thing is you have to exercise. You know what? I'm going to, even before that, because this is something maybe a lot of people don't even think of. The first thing you need to do, make sure you got your ears cleaned out. Please make sure you got your ears cleaned out. That's like a car having all these problems and stuff, and it may just be an oil backup or something like that. Maybe clogging up the pipes or the motor or something like that. Maybe something as simple as that. When someone could have just drained it and cleaned out all that clog and stuff like that, then that could have been the answer to an expensive trip to the mechanic, okay? So make sure your ears canals are clean. Make sure your ear canals are clean. That's the first step. That's step 0, okay? Once you got them clean, hey, that's the start. Now you can at least hear sounds without all that blockage and stuff like that. Okay? So clean your ears, okay? Next, what you need to understand is that you need to work out and strengthen your ears just like you would go to the gym and work out your body, okay? People go to the gym, they don't step in the gym on day one expecting to be a god or a goddess coming out on day one. They know automatically that it will be a process. It will be an evolution process. It will take time to develop and see the results, okay? So you go in there, you do your cardio, you do your strength, resistance training, you put in the freaking reps and stay consistent, and then you start seeing results. It's the same with developing your listening skills. You have to work out your ears. You have to do cardio and resistance training with your ears so that the muscles in your ear canals can strengthen, can build up. Any muscle that you do not use, whether it's physical, mental, whatever way you want to think about it, any muscle that you do not use will weaken, okay? Will weaken. Goes for your mind, your body, your brain, anything. Like the saying goes, use it or lose it, okay? So how do you work out your ears? Okay, so in the gym, let's just talk about resistance training for a moment. In the gym, for resistance training, what do when you want to build more strength or muscle, okay? You put on weight. You add another plate, maybe big or small, but you adding on to get stronger, okay? Build that resistance, okay? More resistance equal more strength build up, okay? Over time. Well, with your ears, you're stripping, instead of putting on something, you're stripping away in order to produce the resistance that you need to develop your ears. Okay, so let me explain. You ever walked into a room, a dark room, and at first you couldn't make out anything, it was just dark, okay? But then after about 30 seconds or so, you start kind of seeing and your eyes get used to the dark. Fog start to clear, you start to see. Same with your ears. So to develop resistance, you need to turn down the volume. Turn down the volume less than what you would usually listen to your Spanish drills, okay, your Spanish podcast, YouTube or whatever. Turn it down. Turn it down to a level that is still audible, but at the same time, it requires you to kind of really listen, okay? Almost strain a bit to listen, but you can make it out, okay? That's adding that resistance. So you turn it down to build up and add that resistance that your ears need to pulsate and strengthen it and strain to listen a little bit, but still make out. That's what you want to go for. That's the feel you want to go for. Don't have the Spanish blasting like a lot. No, you want to turn that volume down, okay? And make your ears work. And then over time, your ear muscles will build, okay? Now, as far as, let's talk about the cardio end of it. Okay, so cardio end of it, developing your listening skill, think of it like this. When you go in the gym, you are on the treadmill, you're on the elliptical, you're working up that breathing, okay? Getting your heart rate going and everything by doing consistent movement. Cardio, okay? That's the same concept, the cardio with your ears. You want to go into cycles where you're just listening. You're just intaking all of this Spanish information, this Spanish language, whether you understand it or not, you're just intaking it, and then you rest. You take a breather, okay? Then you take it in again. Take it in, fill your mind with it, fill your mind. Let's get the sounds in it. You may understand some words, you may not, but just get it in, take it to the peak, rest. Let the stress and the strain go from your head and just take a little breather. Okay, that's intake. You want to take in as much as that language as you can, whether you understand it or not, just take it in because that's getting the sounds of the language in your head, in your thick skull, okay, where you need it. All of this, that cardio and resistance training for your ears, believe me, I've used it, I've seen the results. It will develop your ear faster than the regular techniques of listening that you're using, that you're probably using already. It will develop your ears faster by approaching it with this type of listening concept, okay? Basically, you got to put in the freaking reps if you want to get really adept at your listening skills, okay, with the Spanish language. Because, make no mistake, the Spanish language is a fast-spoken language. You know, and people, they're not really going to slow down for you that much, not too often. Everything is moving fast. So you have to accelerate the development of your ear because these are very important tools and satellite dishes that you have on the side of your head that you need to use because it leads to everything else. Connection, conversations, being able to respond, and everything else. All comes down to these two things right here, okay? Your ears. All right, now let's talk about some other development techniques. Now, one thing you need to know too, and I really had to come to understand this, is that you do not have to understand every single word that is spoken to you in order to understand. You just don't. All you need to do is listen out for key words, key trigger phrases in order to just to get the gist of what someone is saying. Oftentimes, people who starting to learn Spanish, they think they need to understand every little word. No. That will overwhelm you, especially at the rapid pace that's being thrown at you. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, just listen out for key words. Okay? Okay? Think like this. A caveman come to you and say, food, thirsty, drink. You don't need to know all that with the other stuff they were saying. When you heard food, drink, thirsty, you got the gist of what they're saying. They're hungry, they want something to eat, they want something to drink. That's all you need to know. All the filler words and all that stuff, you don't need to know that to understand. Eventually it will come, but you don't need to know that to understand. You see what I'm saying? So, same concept here. Listen out for trigger words and phrases that you know and anchor onto that and use your concept clues, use your common sense to put it together. This person is saying this. This person is asking this. Okay. Then, hey, that's when you can cobble up a response if the situation calls for one. Okay? But at least you'll understand better without overwhelming yourself. Okay, now, another thing you need to realize is that you can't be a sporadic practicer, especially with Spanish. This takes daily practice to develop your ears. Okay? For your listening and comprehension skills to really rise to the level that you need daily practice. I would recommend at least concentrated listening of at least 30 minutes a day in Spanish listening training, okay? Whether it be your favorite podcast, whether it be a YouTube video, whatever, just get in at least 30 minutes of concentrated Spanish listening a day, and you'll be surprised at how much it will accumulate over time. And you'll really be surprised after you look back 21 days and you see all that listening and practicing adding up. You thought they were baby steps, they're adding up and they're paying off, okay? They will pay off, believe me, I've been through it. I'm not telling you anything that I have not done. Now, are you ready to move on to the next lesson? Wait a minute, I can't hear you. Are you ready? Wait a minute, maybe I need to clean out my ears. Are you ready? Okay, let's do it.